Hello, welcome to another episode of Battle Topics. I am your host Clayton, along with my co-host.
Laughing Stock, and for this episode, we're going to be talking to a man about contracts, business, exclusivity. Basically, what does it mean to be a free agent or to be league associated? Are there benefits? Are there pitfalls? Is the glass half full, half empty? Who are we and why are we on this earth? We're talking to a man who knows a thing or two about battle rap. He's only gone from his first battle to blackout in almost half a dozen battles. We're talking to the man himself, Loso. Loso, how you doing?
What's up, man? What's up?
What is up, Loso? Okay, so Loso, you happen to be one of the names that comes up whenever people talk about up-and-coming rising stars within battle rap. You are under a contract, correct, right now, just for transparency's sake?
Yeah. So currently right now, I'm under contract with Bullpen Battle League, which is John the Don's league in Atlanta, Georgia.
And now, when a lot of fans hear something like you're under contract, their brain, I think a lot of people's brains immediately goes, oh, that means you can only battle for that league. But that's not necessarily what it means. It basically just means a league wants on paper your commitment to them to some extent. So do you want to kind of clarify? I mean, you don't got to go into details of your contract, but what did it mean when Bullpen offered you a contract, basically saying, we like you so much, please put on paper that you're with us?
Yeah, so obviously when I think it was my second or third battle, I was pretty much done with battle rap after that. I heard John was doing the tryout. And in the trial, it had you pay $100 to try out, but it was a $500 buyout, And then also for me, I kind of looked at it like, you know what, let me just go up there and I get to battle in front of some of my favorite battlers. Like I knew T-Top was there, I knew Danger Zone was there, John was there. He brought out a lot of people. So, I just felt it was kind of an investment that at that point in my time, like I felt, let me go ahead and just invest in. Now, when I looked at the roster of dudes who were actually trying out, it were names that I was familiar with. I was like, oh, there's no way I'm gonna win. So I went up there, and the crazy thing, I think it was like 26 battlers that entered that competition, and I won battle of the night. I won the whole competition, and this was like only my second or third one. And so after that day, I remember John called me the next day and was just like, hey, we want you to be a part of the roster. And this is, and he literally told me, I remember vividly, he said, Loso, give me a year. You give me 1 year and I'll make you a household name. I said, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? So I really didn't have too many offers at that time anyway. So I just figured, let me go ahead and do this. Now, there was no paperwork. There was no contract or nothing like that at the time. John, however, he kept putting me in position where, I wouldn't even dream of. So for instance, my next battle after that, I was featured on Lifetime, which is Main Dupree's rap game. They featured me on there, and then, through that, so many different opportunities were given to me just because I was on TV. Then after that, I ended up battling XL. He put me on a main card where, they packed out a venue out in Atlanta, and it was the same card that K-Shine and Sharon was on, same card that Chef Trez and DNA was on, and so I came, and XL and I, we basically, from a lot of people's point of view, we had battle of the night and almost battle of the year. Like it was voted battle of the year that year. So that was one. And then the next battle, he gave me DNA. So he gave me DNA, great battle over there. A lot of people, pretty much the majority felt I beat DNA. And so John was already putting me in position. And still at this time, it was just a verbal agreement like, hey, you know what? Now, at this time, I was getting offers from everywhere. And I'm talking crazy money, like, hey, $1,000 to come battle this way. The only thing John sat down with me and said, yeah, bro, no, this is not even a joke. Like multiple, I'm talking about multiple
thousands.
I'm talking about multiple leagues like hitting me up and for this price. And so because like the views I was being able to go ahead and cultivate off of really like no stock prior to this was drawing attention, and also the performance was crazy too. So John just sat down and said, hey, let's be strategic about this. He didn't necessarily want to take food out of my mouth or anything, but he was just like, let's be strategic and let's really think how we want to kind of go ahead and go about this. Now, I just trusted him. So it's not like, I don't have a job. I have I have a job. I take care of myself outside of battle rap, so I didn't need to go ahead and run to the money. So I said, okay, great. So after the DNA battle, we sat down, and because there were a lot of offers going, different directions, a contract was now presented. And this is how I kind of felt. They were investing into me, you know what I'm saying? So you got to think about it. Any opponent that they kind of bring to me, so for instance, like let's say DNA, I don't know how much DNA charged, but let's throw out a number. Let's say it's like 3,000. Let's say DNA agrees, okay, 3,000. I'll pay you 3,000. Yeah, pay me 3,000. I'll go battle your up and coming Loso. Well, John is not only paying the $3,000. He's not only paying for all the camera work. He's not only paying for the venue. He's giving me this shot, and all I have to do is show up, and I get the footage out on YouTube. And so I'm looking at it from a perspective like, man, okay, I am putting out work. I mean, I am battling DNA, and I have to put on a great performance also. But at the same time, there's a lot that they're entrusting into me too. That like, hey, we're doing all of this for you. You are an artist. But the contract is also, you got to think about it. It's like, look, we want you to be we want you to be a bullpen battler. Now, nowhere in the contract, and I tell people all the time, there's nowhere where I'm kind of like prohibited to go ahead and battle on another league. Hence the blackout situation. Mm-hmm. There's no way we want that, But just when I go to other leagues, like where I came from, type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like look, I'm being branded over here. I'm being branded, and they just wanted me to kind of establish myself as this bullpen battler prior to taking another battle. So when Organic reached out, it was almost a no-brainer. It was like, yeah, let's go on this platform and let's go ahead and do our thing. So that's the situation now. And I tell people all the time, no, I'm not prohibited, to go ahead and battle on any league. It's really my choice. And they don't call the shots for me either. It's not like John tells me when or where to battle. It's a conversation that we have, and obviously he's been doing this for a while and has found success in doing it. So why wouldn't I go ahead and heed that advice? So
okay, so here's a hypothetical. John wants you to battle at a bullpen event. It's the same day as a URL event, and Smack wants you to be a part of it. Would it be a conflict of interest if you pick the Smack event over bullpen, or would it be better for your personal career to branch out to a new audience?
Yeah. So for instance, I've been offered PGs already. Several PGs I've been offered, and I actually have a good relationship with Norbs. But let's say hypothetically a bullpen battle is on the same day as URL. I think that's just a conversation that we'll have. So if it's almost like a battle, like because John also wants to do like I have yet to feel a certain way. I have yet to feel like if John does not have the best interest for me. Like I feel like every time we have a conversation, he's always like, Loso, I think if you make this move next, I think this will look dope. So obviously, let's say they throw somebody like like a Chef Trez. Let's say Loso, go battle Chef Trez on URL, or I could battle Danger Zone on Bullpen. Obviously, the Chef Trez on URL would be a better look. Hence the subscribers, the bigger look, probably even the better battle. So I think John would obviously lean towards that. Like I said, he hasn't given me any reason to believe that he's only interested in his own league, and so we'll even work around that. There's, the Queen of the Ring card that I actually just battled in. That was almost going to be a conflict of interest with the blackout, but we ended up making it work, so that, everybody kind of wins in that situation. So
yeah. So earlier you were mentioning about how you were approached multiple times with certain numbers and all that, but you were comfortable in the position you were in. So you took the contract as like a, I don't know, not so much a security blanket, but more of like a guiding light, rather than trying to be like, oh, well, I'm just gonna squeeze every dollar I can and just do it all on my own. You'd rather take take the little cut down to be able to have that like helping hand throughout the whole like trial period when you're starting, because that period's pretty crucial, and if you can sink or swim in that few short years. So that's what I'm taking from that.
Can I apologize on behalf of Clayton referring to a battle rap contract as a guiding light to a man of faith? Hopefully you weren't insulted by that.
Hey, I don't know if that's subconscious or whatever, but I apologize for that. But you know what I mean? You just were searching for a sense of direction, and a contract, I've never really thought of it in that way, because I'm guilty of it myself, of thinking of contracts as like a negative thing, of where the leagues are just being like, no, you're mine for X amount of years, and essentially like barring certain battles that would go really well on any league, but since a certain battler is exclusive to one league or another, it just kind of comes off as a negative stigma. Would you have been opposed to contracts if you knew that you were only bullpen exclusive and you couldn't venture off into other leagues and capture new audiences?
Yeah, I definitely would have, because I mean, it limits you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I could constantly put on the greatest performances over there. And granted, don't get me wrong, I mean, Bullpen has also benefited from Loso being there. I mean, the fact that, like John even said, I mean, that he found me was the blessing. So the fact that, you know, people are coming over there saying, like, who's this new guy, you know, killing it, you know, it works both in hand. But if I was limited, if I was not able to go ahead and go to KOTD, if I was not able to go ahead and go to any league, which I've only battled on 2 leagues, so I mean, well, 3 leagues. The league that I started at, which is Enter the Dungeon, which is in Tampa, Florida, then Bullpen, and then KOTD. That's it. Those are the only leagues I've battled on. So I definitely would have been opposed to it. So I do want to say this, though, and this is for anybody listening. So obviously right now, if anybody's been paying attention to the drama that's in battle rap, and you know, it's like a soap opera every day, there has been, you know, quote unquote battle rap contracts from Bullpen that has been like circulating battle rap groups and stuff. So I do want to say this. I want to make this statement. That contract that people are looking at, that contract that people are seeing, that was presented to me. I'm not going to lie. That contract was presented to me. However, though, that wasn't a written contract that was specifically for battle rap. So what that contract was, it was an artist management contract that was altered to be a Bullpen one. But it was only a mock-up. It was given to us so that we can negotiate from. So when people see certain things in that contract, they're like, "Oh, this is a slave contract. What are you guys doing to Loso?" Specifically for me, like my name, because I'm quote unquote, I guess, you know, people have thrown this the face of Bullpen or the new guy out there to watch for. They've been attaching me and kind of saying, you know, it's been bad business. They kind of holding Loso as a hostage or taking money. That's not the case. One, I get paid for. Yeah, one, I get paid for every Bullpen battle. I get paid for every Bullpen battle I do. 2, that, you know, like I said, I tell people all the time, like contract that's circulating, and I don't know, and obviously, you know, there's been some stuff that's been going around that obviously people have leaked the contract or whatnot, but that contract is not the final contract. Like, that's not what I've negotiated with. Like, my situation is not the same as everybody else, you know, and so I tell people that all the time. So for me, there were definitely things that were presented at first that, you know, hey, I had to go to tweak. You know, I'm not this guy who has no idea what a contract entails. Like, I do music, so everything I do, every show I do, every feature, and I can read. You know what I'm saying? I graduated college. Like, I mean, not too many people know this. I'm an English teacher. You know what I'm saying? Like, I teach English for a living. So all these different things, like, obviously, I want to be responsible in signing whatever. So there had to be some negotiating done on both ends. And so we definitely found a middle ground. Like I said, bro, I like the leadership in Bullpen has treated me well, and I wouldn't be in the position that I am if it wasn't for that type of leadership. So
one of the most kind of jarring things is when you look at the contract and it's in terms of like years. Like using the example you were talking about, that template that's been circulating said anywhere from 2 to 7 years, and with battle rap being such like a constantly evolving sport, art, whatever, something's new every day, the concept of years just kind of like writes people off, and just like you're basically signing your entire career away. What do you think what do you think about signing something in that length with an art form that's growing and changing literally every day?
Yeah, I think it would be ridiculous. So I think the most appropriate thing to do would be to sign a contract for like a certain amount of battles. Like, hey, we want you to go ahead and do 4 battles, and we'll pay you this amount. You'll battle on these events. You know, that'll make more sense. So back to the template that you guys saw. Let me go and tell you exactly where that contract comes from. That contract actually came from the Rap Game, which Jermaine Dupri was holding, and this is actually one of the template contracts that they kind of use for their artists. So it makes sense in the music business why you would see those type of numbers. Like I told you, Bullpen was originally using this template as a mock contract to go ahead and start negotiating. So when it says 2 to 7, obviously, first of all, I don't even know a battler who's like, yeah, I'm gonna be battling for 7 years. I don't, in the right mind, like that's not your goal. Like for me, it's not. I don't want to be necessarily known as a battle rapper. I want to use battle rap to go ahead and catapult me to do something else, something bigger. And so, yeah, I think those numbers, I would never give, advice to an up-and-coming battler and say, yeah, go ahead and sign a 4-year deal to this specifically. It doesn't even make sense. Logically, it doesn't even follow. But if you want to do a certain amount of battles, like, Loso, this year I want you to battle 4 times on Bullpen, and this is what and we'll pay you this amount of money, but you have to perform for these events. Yeah, I have no problem
imagine
with that.
If this type of business structure existed years ago, and somebody said, Grind Time offered, hey, here's a Grind Time exclusive contract for the next 4 years, and you're thinking, wow, we just did Battle of the Bay 5. Grind Time's the biggest league in the world, of course. 4 years afterwards, you would have really regretted that decision. So I agree that subjecting yourself to battles as opposed to calendar length is a much smarter move. You know what a league should do is have a night that consists entirely of main events. So that way, if you're on the card, it'll be a good battle.
Yeah.
Get your 10%, Brett. Get your 10%. Okay, so I just think it's super interesting that your contract, it's the first contract that I've heard of where it allows you to branch off to certain leagues. And I know John had to keep that in mind, that like the views you get will obviously transcend into Bullpen, and he's looking out for you. And, like you said, investing in you. When you did go over to King of the Dot, was it a lot different from Bullpen? Like what was the biggest difference transcending into a different league with a higher caliber than the Tampa League?
Yeah. So I guess from a small scale, like the business wise, I tell people all the time, like King of the Dot is like a machine, probably the best machine in battle rap. Like what I saw there when I walked into the event, it's just like everyone has a job. Everyone has a job, and they all do that specific job well. Like no one's doing something there. So for me, that was the first time that I ever saw something being ran that well. And so shout out to King of the Dot for just being professional on all aspects of battle rap. And then as far as the art form, it was definitely different. Just the crowd, and so King of the Dot for me was a learning curve. Which is, like when I went on Twitter, after my battle, I remember BattleRap.com and RapGrid, who were both present, they both gave me the W. And a lot of people both said I won and stuff. So, but, in the building, though, it seemed closer, and a lot of people were even edging gyms because of the content. So, like, I guess King of the Dot is, and this is what's been said, and this is what I kind of felt that day too. I literally I have a punchline in a metaphor every line. I'm like, boom, 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 and the crowd is, some people are getting it, and you hear some cheers and stuff, but then I'm thinking like, man, why are they not going crazy? This stuff was sell back in the United States, but then all of a sudden I remember my second round I called Jim fat, and the crowd almost erupted, and I was like, wait, what is going on here?
That's
so
Toronto.
it was definitely different, for me. But yeah, like I said, just overall, the King of the Dot experience for me just twofold. One from a business, and then one from the art form. It was just so it was just such a learning curve for me, and so I definitely appreciate every single second I was over there.
Dope.
Well, I know King of the Dot was happy to have you. Especially as somebody who's under a strict contract that won't allow you to do anything ever. That's not Bullpen.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you got to sneak away.
I think a distant fan perspective might be, and this is almost just a placeholder more than a real example. But say like Mike P, like a lot of people will throw the name out there. Oh, have Mike P on King of the Dot against so-and-so, and the typical response from other fans are, he can't. He's under contract for URL.
Yeah.
So he can't do that. But you're proof that you can be under a contract, but not an exclusive one, and still have a bit of freedom.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so, and I want to actually I'll piggyback over what you said. So, for instance, like Bullpen, I think the reason why John is okay with that is because they really just want to go ahead. And this is no lie, I'm not even just bigging this up just because John is my friend and stuff, but he really does want to elevate the culture. So whoever's winning, like John will literally buy the pay-per-view for King of the Dot Blackout if I wasn't on it or not, and he'll do it for URL. So he doesn't necessarily see it as a competition. But if we're honest, like the Mike P one, I always hear that. Everyone always says Mike P will be the great fit. He will be the man at King of the Dot. But yeah, at the bottom line though, obviously, I mean, we can all assume, we don't know for sure, but we can all assume that he has a contract with URL. But at the end of the day, it would make sense though. I'm not sitting at home thinking, man, URL, why aren't you letting Mike P go to King of the Dot? Well, you got to think about it. I mean, and this is I don't think the owners are thinking like this, but it's almost put in the two biggest leagues in the world are URL and King of the Dot. And it's almost like McDonald's and Burger King. Or I don't even know if Burger King, I don't want to even disrespect whichever league is Burger King, but let's say it's like Chipotle and Moe's. Yeah. But let's say it's like Chipotle and Moe's or something. Like, obviously, I mean, you don't want to go ahead and give one of your rising stars over there and kind of help that. I mean, it would make sense. But yeah, so I mean, I don't know for sure, but I mean, I also wouldn't be surprised if Mike P's contract prohibits him from battling the King of the Dot, because I know, for instance, New Jersey Twerk just battled in London, and it almost looks like a URL clash against Don't Flop type of thing. So New Jersey Twerk is over there, DNA's over there. So, but then again, though, let's be realistic. Are we really going to see New Jersey Twerk battle at Massacre 3 or Mike P? It obviously, and we don't have to be naive. We all know why. Like, it's just not going to happen. So, for me, I mean, I kind of understand it, but I don't know. I obviously don't know what the owners think. Like, I will always want to get in like Organic's head or like Smack's head and kind of think exactly what are they thinking when these artists are kind of like going, cross leagues and stuff.
If you're a WWF wrestler in the 90s and you ask Vince McMahon, hey, is it cool if I go wrestle a match on Nitro? He'll be like, no, no, not at all. Don't do
always
that.
Back to wrestling.
Having a sense of exclusivity is always going to be appealing to promoters and their battlers. But at the same time, you got to go out and make your money. You got to get your multiples of thousands.
Has there ever been like a match that's come your way that Bullpen has told you could not do?
No, the words could not. I wouldn't use. So now I was advised to not take. Yeah, should not has definitely been
should
used.
Not.
And so I'll be honest. Yes, I'll be honest right now. I was offered a URL battle 2 times, a PG 2 times, and one was against Craig Lamar, and another was against Mr. Mills. And so two great battles where I think the battle itself would have done great numbers and stuff, and I would have seen success from it. But so I'm gonna be honest, like my contract and also my loyalty to whatever Bullpen has going on, it goes a long way. One, just because of the person who I am, like I really work best off of relationships. So because I have because I've cultivated a good relationship with John, it's easy for me to kind of sit down and not have this selfish mindset. Now, don't get me wrong. I could have easily done that PG, guys. I could have easily done PG, and without a shadow of a doubt, I felt I would have been able to blow through that first PG, got a great battle after that, and done whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I maybe could have even been a star over there. Could have been doing more views, probably be getting paid more money. But my position right now is twofold. Like, one, I want to help myself. I do see some benefit in that. But just like where my heart is, like I also want to help Bullpen. Like, how dope would it be if like 5 years from now, Bullpen is on the same level as the King of the Dot and a URL, and I could say, man, I was there from the ground up, and I was probably, the leader and the lead battler that was helping that out. So, and also I want to help these guys out too, like John and stuff. Like they've really helped me out. So I definitely want to kind of reciprocate the love. So, they definitely recommended not to take it, but now it's not like that. Let's say like I said, I've always talked to Norbs, and I've always, had a good relationship with the people up at URL. And I told them, I definitely have a desire to battle over there. Like, who doesn't want to go battle over there? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of great competition, and it's the feel of New York. But for me, I just wanted to be the right situation. And so I think, the right situation is definitely coming up maybe soon, one day. We'll see what's up. But no matter what, I'm a proponent. Like, everything is happening. Obviously, like you guys said, I'm a man of faith. So, like, my steps, like, I can only look at everything that's been going on in my career and, like, where I'm at right now in almost like a year and a half. It's kind of like, man, that's God, bro. So, I mean, whether I take that PG or not, I mean, I could have a battle go viral, or I could have a battle on URL that doesn't do anything, So it really just all determines for me. So, yeah, they definitely said should not before. But, like I said, it's always a healthy conversation that I have with them.
Even if they said should not, and you decided on your own to pursue that, would that cause any kind of conflict? Like, where does that lie within your guys' professional boundaries?
Yeah, so the contract, obviously, in my contract, like I said, like, the negotiating would, as long as it doesn't, it doesn't cause any friction with a battle that I already have locked in with Bullpen. I don't think it would be a bad idea. But then now you got to think about it. Obviously, if I go to URL and let's say I do well over there, and then they offer me a contract or something like that, but they're gonna have some stipulations too, right? And so, like, it has to, like, then this is when it becomes real problematic, because I have relationships with with a lot of people, even with Keenan and Dot, right? Like, I would still want to be able to battle these other places. And so we'll have to have a healthy conversation, a mature conversation. Like, all right, guys, I know this is what you want. This is what I want. How can we kind of find a middle ground? So I don't think it would definitely be anything. It wouldn't be any bad blood on John's end unless something prohibits me from being from battling that Bullpen.
Totally off topic.
We always end the podcast with this, just some kind of silly off the wall questions not related to the topic at hand. Although this one is, because I thought of it 2 seconds ago. If you got the chance to battle anyone, that it doesn't matter what league it's for, it's irrelevant. No league would matter. You would accept it no matter what. As long as it's being filmed and you two are battling, you could pick one human. Who would it be?
All right, so right now, like, if this was obviously not down the line, because I think the buzz would kind of go down, but if I can do it like tomorrow, I would say B-Dot. I would say
B-Dot.
Yep.
Okay, so we had a battle topics with A-Ward, and your name got brought up along with B-Dot, along with Saga, along with Jonai.
Yeah.
And obviously, every single time you put out a tweet, or A-Ward puts, or any of those people in that group put out a tweet, who should I battle next? It's just any combination of those names. And what is your A-Ward's even gotten to the point where he's like, who do you want me to battle? And in parentheses, besides Loso, because it's like so apparent. Yeah. And he kind of expanded on it. It's like people are manifesting this idea in their head to kind of it may let them down. And in the back end of it all, like, you guys are friends and you guys are on like the same team and all. Yeah. So what crosses your mind when you get those constant suggestions of battling that Christian versus Christian, or that kind of gimmick that people are putting in their head?
Yeah, I hate the gimmick attachment. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I think if they just want to see like two great rappers go at it, which I do, I won't lie. I think the majority of battle rap fans definitely do believe that A-Ward and I, talent wise, would make a great matchup. But obviously the Christian attachment kind of sheds light to that. But yeah, I agree with everything A-Ward is saying. We've talked about it numerous times. Like, he's really my friend outside of battle rap. Like, that's my brother. Like, I really do, you know what I'm saying? Like we do life together. And so that same thing with Saga, or this other rapper that's not too known. His name is Street Hymns. So it's like us four. Like, we have a group chat, and like we spar with each other. Like, we definitely encourage each other outside of it. So none of us would battle each other. And like, we really are legit friends though. Like, that's the thing. Like, I try to tell people, like, it's not, and definitely it is the Christian attachment too, but we legit are really, really close. Now, B Dot and Joe Knot. If people want to go and label that a gimmick, I wouldn't necessarily entertain the gimmick thing, but I definitely would battle either one of those, and I would love to.
Yeah.
Reason for it, obviously, it's not like we're on the same campaign type of thing. Like B Dot, if anything, almost has built a campaign to be like not just a Pan-Africanism battle rapper, but also like an anti-Christian type of dude. Like it doesn't matter who he's battling. He kind of like Danny Myers. Danny Myers has never been on this, hey, Jesus saves type of thing. But even in the Danny Myers battle, B Dot used the Christian angle against him, and so I would definitely do that just because I think it's a dope conversation. But like I said, it would have to be soon, or I think the momentum would just die down, and it would kind of just forcing it. But yeah, Joe Knot too. I think Joe Knot. I know Joe Knot has been public about his upbringing, and he said that he kind of was brought up in kind of like a biblical mindset, it's a biblical worldview. Yeah. But obviously, I don't think he associates himself like as a Christian or whatnot. So. Yeah, I agree with A Ward as far as, us four, we wouldn't necessarily battle each other, but I mean, I would definitely battle, anybody else outside of that.
All right. Yeah. Speaking of hypothetical battles, we have a question from Talkback. Eric Farrell wants to know
oh, God.
If Big K could get into heaven, who would be the best matchup for him up there?
What is he talking about? Who in heaven?
Yeah, if Big K could get into heaven, who would be the best matchup waiting for him up there?
Big K versus Moses would probably be a classic debatable.
Man, if only.
He would kick that garbage straight to hell. Yeah, exactly.
No.
Well, so what would it take to get you to take part in an unprepared, uncomfortable setting room battle?
Listen, bro, in my contract right now, I'm not allowed to do any hotel battles, bro.
John is just ruining my life. Well, we appreciate the effort. We appreciate you being in the room and enjoying it. That's all that matters.
Yeah, man, that was perfect, man.
Was that what you were expecting whenever you came to Blackout? That stuff like that was going down at around every corner.
Oh man, bro.
Yeah, that's just not honestly, the King of the Dot norm, by the way.
Oh, is it not, man?
It's about to be though.
I told A Ward, I said, man, just almost like the fellowship, but like I don't know, just to hang out like that everybody kind of was having, like everybody was cool with everybody, we was all having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
That was like second to none. So I definitely enjoyed that too.
Awesome. All right, so is there anything else that you want to like talk about or touch on before we wrap this up? Because I know that your name's been buzzing in a lot of different spaces, and people have been talking a lot. So is there anything coming up for you? I know you're going to take a break after doing your 90 battles this month.
Yeah, right.
But summer's coming up, so summer break.
Yeah, the crazy thing is, I'm only 9 battles deep in my career, so that's just my 9th battle. But yeah, this past month, I had a battle with Bad News. That battle's over 100K. It's like 110,000 right now. Nobody's counting though, but it's like 110,000. Then I had, I just did the Blackout with Jims. I think that's dropping like June 20th something or so, I think. Yeah. And then my 2-on-2, which was, and the Gun Bible title. It wasn't our original name. Like, we don't even have a name, but people were calling us that, and I thought it was hilarious. So
I know some people feel a type of way about that.
No, it's pretty funny.
They do. Oh, bro, I was getting hit up. I got hit up by so many different, like, no lie, like some like Christians were contacting me, like people who weren't even battle rap fans. They just saw it on my feed. They would hear me like, "Hey, bro, I don't know if this is the wisest decision." And I was like, "Guys, just calm down. It's entertainment, one, and two." Like you have to understand the reference of where it's coming from.
Yeah, it's like tongue in cheek. It's like tongue in cheek,
Yeah, but that was a great. Were you guys able to see it on Rap Grid?
No, I haven't. But I've heard enough updates about it that I pretty much did.
Yeah, man, it was great, bro.
Yeah, I heard that it was like it blew every other performance out of the water. It was like performance.
We were getting like they said it was like one of the best 2-on-2 performances from Street Hymns and I like that they've ever seen. So hopefully when it drops on YouTube, we'll definitely see how the people react to it. So
Awesome. Well, I guess we'll wrap it there. We appreciate you being on, and we're glad that we finally got the chance to meet you at Blackout 7. Hopefully, we get to see you at a future event in the near future.
Massacre 3, man.
Hey,
Massacre 3, let's do it.
You said it. Set it up.
You said it.
Set it up.
Hopefully, man.
Uncle Nakaya, set it up.
Yep. All right, man. We appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us, man. We appreciate your time and look forward to more content coming from you in the future.
Definitely, man. Thank you guys so much.
All right, thanks, man.
Thanks.
See ya.